record. I'm going to put it on speaker view so we can see you. All right. So you guys, tonight's team call is super special because it's with Kristine, who is a dear friend of mine that I've met because of the Beachbody community. And Kristine has lived in Indiana before, so we have that connection, right? That's where you're from, isn't that right? You're from Indiana. And but it's awesome. We've just spent a lot of great, trips together and getting ready for a summit together and just had these awesome moments. And it's one of the things that I love about Team Beachbody is that it truly makes your world bigger. And the people on our team, you guys on our team are our second family, but we also have other family outside of our team in the Team Beachbody world and all over the country. And that's what's really cool about just staying in this business and continuing to show up, continuing to elevate your business and to go on trips and to attend trainings, live trainings. You're going to meet some really amazing people that change your life forever. And Kristine is one of those people. She's always a bright light and has so much positive energy. And so tonight I asked her on our call because I want her to share her story with you because it's very, very powerful. And I know some of you may have heard Kristine's story, a little snippet of it from a Team Beachbody Super Saturday video. She was part of that Coach Spotlight speaker. But I thought it would be great to hear from her tonight. And so Kristine is super successful in this business, even though she'd probably be like, whatever. No, she's super successful. She's a 4-time elite coach, which is awesome and really hard to do. So girl, that's amazing. She's an 8-star diamond in her first business center. She's a 2-star diamond in her second, and her third CDC is a diamond. So like, that's really awesome, girlfriend. Like you got a lot, okay? You have a lot to offer everybody tonight. And she's hit Success Club for 88 months in a row. That's pretty cool too, right? Like how cool is that? So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Kristine. You guys, I'm not going to do any announcements tonight because I send out the newsletters. Check those. Check the team page. We're staying up to date with everything in all of our groups. So I think you guys know what's going on. So Kristine, go ahead, sister, and take it away. Thanks for being here tonight.
Hi guys, thank you for having me, Erin. It's so funny you said that because I was walking into my office. I was like, dang it. I don't get to sit in Erin's hotel room and get my hair and makeup done this year.
I know.
And we did that for the past 2 years in Indy. And David was so gracious, like all these girls came into her room to get her hair and makeup done. And it's so funny that she talked today about just, or ironic or God, about like meeting other people from other teams and becoming friends, because I actually had a conversation on this topic today with one of my success partners, a potential coach, because when I get into my story, she has the same diagnosis as I do. And so my friend, who's not, we don't benefit from each other, wanted me to help talk to this girl about, yes, you can. I went through this, Beachbody helped me, et cetera, et cetera. So, and also I'll get to the rest about like the ironic, it being ironic for today too, just because of the kind of day I had. So I will get into it super quick. Okay. All my adult life, I've always had like the anxiety and the depression and the ups and downs that I'm sure, a lot of people unfortunately can relate with. I have been on every medication known to man, whether it's anxiety, depression, the ups and downs. I had some really, really dark times and just times in my life where I was fine. So we moved to Texas almost 8 years ago, which is crazy. And the move wasn't, the move wasn't bad. It was, we moved for my husband's job as we always had. And so it wasn't like I came to this horrible place, but that's just when things started getting the worst they'd ever been. And I can't pinpoint it. And some of you have like struggled with any of this and you're like, someone says, why are you depressed? And you're like, I don't know. Like you honestly don't know. And then they get frustrated because they don't know how to help you, but you're like, I don't know. From the outside, your life looks great, but you have this feeling of just despair. I was just like in this fog. Like the days would just go by and I was just sad. And I just felt like a zombie. And I was heavily self-medicating. My son at the time was 4. I just was so distant from my husband and so distant from my family. And I just kind of went through the motions. And it got to a point where my husband, Lincoln, he literally, I still get emotional. He literally left me a note one morning. I woke up, he was already at work and he kicked me out. He basically said, you need to get out and you need to get home. And I'll never forget where he put the note on the floor. So I would walk, he knew I'd walk towards the kitchen and see it. And I just remember sitting there on the stairs. I started bawling my eyes out. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I ended up having a college roommate. So I went to Purdue. So I had a college roommate that lived 5 hours away. Because we weren't here long enough. I didn't really have any friends. And I didn't know what I was going to, like, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I called her and she said I could come down there and we would just kind of figure things out. So to back up a little bit, probably not even a month while this was still going on, because this went on for a while. But I was scrolling Facebook, and I mean, this is not cool, but I mean, I was probably drunk when I like read a post about a challenge group. You know, I had heard of just, you know, my coach, she posted it, and I knew what it was kind of, I didn't really pay attention, and I was just like, you know, okay, I'll do it. And so I got Les Mills Pump. That was my first workout program, and then my first diet of Shakeology. So if you guys ever did Les Mills, it comes like with the weights, you know, you have to change your weights or whatever. So I always say it was God. I couldn't remember how many pairs of underwear I packed. Like I didn't know what to throw in a bag, but I knew I had to leave. But I put in my weights and I put in my Shakeology in my car. As bad as I was, I put my weights and my Shakeology in the car. So I got to my friend's place and she helped me find, she had heard of it before, so it was an outpatient treatment center. So I went to outpatient treatment for 5 weeks, and like within the first hour I walked in the door, they diagnosed me bipolar. I just remember bawling my eyes out like the first 2 days. I'm like, what has happened to my life? They had me around a table, there was like a team of doctors, and I just remember all these people just asking me all these questions, and they like immediately changed my meds. And I remember the only positive thing about that first day, because everything, like the pit of your stomach, like you feel like your life is over. What has happened? What is going on? Where am I? I remember I slept because I always had trouble sleeping too. So anyways, just as a side note, but they changed my meds and I just started going every day. I would go all day, different kinds of therapy, group therapy, you know, private therapy. I met all walks of life. I mean, I'm talking from 2 grandmas, I mean, I'll never forget the people, like 2 grandmas that tried to commit suicide. And you look at these beautiful women and you're like, what? Or the young girl that kept like cutting herself. I mean, it's just crazy the way that people suffer, and it just breaks your heart. But so I would do that, but every morning I set that alarm at 5 o'clock. And I remember going from the guest bedroom until their son had this little playroom. I had my weights in there and I'd bring, you know, he'd play his Legos or whatever, so that I'd move his stuff and bring my weights. I did it every single day. So I always say, every morning I got up, 5 o'clock, I pressed play, I drank my shake. I went and I worked on my mind. Press play, drank shake, went and worked on my mind. And I started coming out, and I come out, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember at the end of the 5 weeks, I felt amazing. And to be diagnosed bipolar, I think for a lot of people, there is so much shame. And I was almost like, hell yes. Oh my God, we got this figured out. Thank God. We got it. Okay, this is what's wrong with me. It's like this weight fell off my shoulders, and I fell in love with Beachbody, like psychotically fell in love with Beachbody. And I came home, and I had to, you know, they had me line me up with a therapist and a psychiatrist. And to this day, I'm still, you know, I don't go to therapy unless I need it. I go to my psychiatrist every 3 months to monitor my meds, but I was still like on a very, I don't know if you want to say tight schedule when I first got back, probably the first 3 months. And, you know, I had to rebuild my relationship with my husband and my son. I mean, I just need to show them I'm okay, you know, and I'm going to be here for you. So I came home, and then I went to my coach, Jamie, and Erin knows Jamie well. I went and I always tease her because I went to her and I said, I want to do what you do. I want to do this. I love this. I was almost 40, never had a passion for anything. I just took a job because I followed my husband, you know, and then I stayed at home for a few years, and there was this hole that I didn't even realize I had. And I was just like, Jamie, I got to do this. So I signed up in August 3rd, 2012. So then I always say I rode my rainbow, or I rode my unicorn over my rainbow for the first few months. I was just happy. I felt so good, right? And I was just like, I mean, I fell in love with Shakeology. It's my jam. And I just was programs or whatever. And then Jamie said, you know, I got to Emerald. She said, you know, sign your husband. Don't ask questions. Just trust me. And I said, okay. Because I'm a sister, got to Emerald. But it was my first super weekend, ironically coming Saturday. Dallas is huge, okay? Some of our events are up to like 1,200 people. And so I went into a room by myself. I think it was autumn here then. I don't know. January 2013, I went by myself. My husband was supportive at the time, but not, you know, you go have fun, honey. I didn't know anybody. And I sat in that room by myself. I probably to my first first 2 years of super weekend, whatever you call them now, by myself. But again, like Erin said, you start to meet people because people are nice and we're a team. But that moment, I watched that video and I looked up on the screen and they announced a Success Club trip. And that was to, I think, Cancun. I don't know, it was my first one. Yeah. And I was like, they started talking about Success Club. And I said, okay, that's something I need to do. And it was that easy. I just said, I'm going to make it. Like it was done. It was like, you're never going to miss again. And it was that moment in time that I realized that this was a legitimate business. I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, not only do I feel really good and I'm really happy, that I can help people feel really good and really happy when they feel really crappy. And I can share my story and I can scream it from the rooftops. And I'm so unapologetic because I honestly I feel so good that why wouldn't we? And we get to make money doing it. And that's something else, like, especially right now. And Erin, I'll kind of wait for you to go about talking about coaching. But I lost my train of thought. But when I saw this, I was like, okay, I better hit Success Club. And whoa, this is a job. Like, this is a legit job where I can make some money helping people. And so that's kind of, I guess I've been doing it ever since. But one thing I do want to say super quick, and this might be off on tangent, but now you got me going, so I'm really hyper. The thing about me, I've definitely had setbacks along the way. I went through a moment in 2015 that my meds completely stopped working, and it probably took me like almost a year to get them back on track. But I didn't quit. I didn't give up. Before, I would have just gone back in that hole. So I realized I had to be very, very aware of my body and my mind, and just okay, this doesn't feel right. Okay, let's try this. Well, this doesn't work, so let's try this. And we just kind of worked. And so, but my meds have been fine since then. I've had to go into therapy. Seems like every 2 years I go for 3 sessions and I'm good. I have her on text. I'm like, hey, it's me. Go, I'm good. But I will say this, and this is a big one, especially for now. So I teach my team and I teach people that I talk to, because I talk to people a lot about this, that you give yourself a day. Okay, so if you start to feel down, and it's funny because I'm having that day today. I told Erin, I didn't get ready. I honestly, you guys, you know what I did? I ate a bunch of leftover Easter candy, all right, because it was in the house, it's not in the house. And I laid on the couch and I didn't do a whole lot of nothing. So I'm like, great, team calls. She reads all those things about me. And I'm like, you should have seen me 2 hours ago. But this is what I do. And this is what I've learned to do. And this hopefully will help you and the people you work with. I give myself a day. All right. So I woke up, my day started kind of good. And I started kind of feeling I was like, okay, here's your day. Eat the damn eggs, get them out of the, because I'm going to say, you can't eat them if you don't buy them. But anyways, eat the eggs. And I already feel better knowing that I'm going to go in tomorrow, and tomorrow's game on again. The alarm's already set. I already know what I'm going to do for the day. It's a day. And I tell my coaches that, and I tell the people I work with. And I am telling you guys, it has just made me, it's like, okay, I feel bloated. Guess what? Because I ate a bunch of candy, I'm not going to beat myself up. I own it because I made that decision to put it. No one said, eat your egg. I ate the egg. But I already know the alarm is set tomorrow for 5. It's done. It's already done. Okay. So that I know. So now I'm sweating. All right. So that's me. All right. Sorry. Do you want me to keep, I don't know. What do you want me to talk about next?
I think
sorry, I'm so happy now.
No, I love it. You're getting comments love the realness, and your authenticity is amazing. So obviously it's working and it's connecting with all of us. You just gave everybody permission to have a bad day. And I think everybody has a bad day. And I think, yeah, eat the egg. Eric is just eat the egg. Who cares, right? It's fine. Now, Kristine, what I love most though about what you said is that you sat there at that Super Saturday, and there's so many coaches. And if you all have had a Super Saturday moment or a live event moment, would you share it in the chat box? I totally want you to, because I know that those live events are pivotal. Summit was one for me. And you sat there and you saw the Success Club trip. You're surrounded in a room of 1,200 people, and you've got Danielle and Antoni and all these crazy, awesome people in this room. And you're sitting there, you don't know anybody, but you saw that and you said, and you made a decision. You said, that's something I'm going to do. So can you help us understand where that came from? Because I think a lot of people, other coaches, and I'm sure your teammates too, look at that moment or that trip or that opportunity and say, well, that's good for you, Kristine, but I don't know if I can do that. And I know you believe otherwise, but like, what is that? Like, what was it inside of you that just said, I'm doing that too?
That's a tough question. Okay, I'm not, so I think you can tell by, like, I'm not this holy roller or anything like that, but I do feel that God played this huge role in, like, in all of this coming together. And so that day, it was almost simple. And here's what, because I was talking to this lady today, and just about her experience. And so when I was diagnosed, I was the people pleaser. I was the doormat. Like, I was the girl, so this was before like cell phones where you text or whatever. So like, you called your friend and you left her a message on their voicemail and you didn't hear from 3 days. And you're like, oh my God, what did I do? She hates me. Yeah, I mean, I was a freak. I just wanted, I worried about what everybody thought about me. So I had gone through all of that crap. And so by the time I became a coach, I literally didn't care anymore. So I felt, like I said, that veil was lifted off, that like this huge weight was on my shoulders. So it was so clear to me that it was like, I had no fear. I had no, like, oh, what are people going to think? It was just I saw it. I mean, it just was like, okay. Like, I think, and this is really bad, so I hope I'm not telling your team. I tell my team not to think about anything, because if you think too much, you don't do nothing. All right. So I have not, this is really bad to say, but I think so many people overthink so much that it prevents them from taking action. When if you seriously look at what Beachbody has laid out for us, this is what it is. It's hard, but it's simple. And I say, somebody else said that. I can't take credit. What we do is hard, but it's so simple. And I'm reading The Slight Edge again, and he's talking about how it's so easy to do something and it's so easy to not do something. So the decision was just, I didn't think about it. I just said, okay. It's like when Jamie also, she said, get to Emerald. And I said, okay. And then she asked me, she said, would you, this is something too, I asked my team and I tell them what my goals are. And I asked for help because I know people want to feel like they're helping someone. And I think that's okay. She came to me and it ended up, I think it was my first summit. And she said, Kristine, I'll never forget this. She said, could you hit diamond by April 24th? Because I would love to walk on stage as 2-star. And I honestly didn't really know what that meant. I'm like, I don't know what 2-star means, and you walking on whatever stage, that sounds cute. And I was like, okay. Like, I literally just said, okay. Okay. That, I mean, it wasn't like, and I remember, I just sat there, and I remember it was the night before, and I had 2 girls. I'm like, sign up, you're gonna help me reach this goal, and it's gonna help my friend Jamie, and one of them actually knew her. I'm like, come on, come on, come on, you got this, you got this. And they both ended up signing up. So I'll never forget that. It's just, it still sounds so bad, but and I saw someone say overthinking. Hold on a second. I don't know. Okay. Oh, these are the moments. I won't read those right now. Sorry. I just saw someone say overthinking is a big problem. So it is. And I think it prevents a lot of coaches from not taking that next step. And I want to tell you something too. Everybody thinks Beachbody knows what they're doing. So like when they came out for the 4 vital behaviors, whoever that person was really smart. Because personal development has played such a huge role in my life too. And before all this, not only was I like really depressed and like really just, very anxiety, very depressed, I was also kind of an a-hole sometimes. So I was really, really negative. And my husband, because Aaron knows my husband now, but like I just told someone this today too. In 2008, he picked up his first personal development book, and it was John Maxwell, Thinking for a Change. And I remember sitting there looking at him. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, who's that? He's like, I'm reading this book. I'm like, you're such a dork. I made fun of him. I literally made fun of him for like doing something good for his brain. And he's like, this guy's really neat. And I'm like, whoa, and I was just that person. And one day he told me, he said, you look for the negative in everything, and no one wants to be around you. And I was like, oh, that hurt. But it was true. It was true. So I think that I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But for me and how I've gone through coaching is I don't overthink anything. I just do. Like, do then think. It's like everybody's like, oh, I have to get through all the new coach training. Well, the new coach training right now is like 30 seconds. So you can get through that pretty fast. And it tells you at the end, take action. Like that. So just do it. Like people all the time, I don't have time for personal development. Right now, no one has that excuse. It's like no one has an excuse not to work out because you ain't going anywhere. But I say, if you 10 minutes a day in the morning, if I do for my reading, I'll set an alarm for 10 minutes a day. for my quiet time. Then you listen to something. But that was also something that very helped me, and it still helps me to this day. Like when I'm feeling, if I'm struggling in my business, which happens a lot, then I will listen to more like business development, and I'll do something that's gonna like kind of, okay, Kristine, quit slacking like you did today, quit being, knock it off. Let's get back to it. Or if I'm feeling a little bit down, I'll listen to something more. Like I listen to what I feel like I need. Does that make sense? So I might be in the middle of a book and I'm like, I don't need you anymore, or I'm not connecting with you, or no, I need more of this. And so I'll just change it. So it's, I don't know. I mean, I just wake up. I mean, yeah, there's days I'm like, oh, but most days I just wake up because I feel like we have such a gift, and especially now. And I know you're probably talking to people and it's really hard for people to see because people are in such different places right now where some, some of us are, we're sharing funny memes because it is funny and we like to have this sense of humor to keep us going, right? Then there's moments where this is very, very serious and you want to respect and you're grateful that you have all those essential workers. So any of you on this call, thank you very much for what you're doing. The healthcare workers, the people going to the grocery store. So I've had all these emotions where, I cried a lot because I almost feel guilty because I have such this blessing with this business, and like nothing for me has changed. Like, I had a breakdown, and I was talking to Jamie about one day, I felt horrible guilt. Like I just said, because I'm still working from home, I'm still able to help people. It's just now it's meeting people in the conversations, meeting that person where they are and what they might need. Sometimes it's just, they might need a phone call. They might not want anything, like they're never going to buy from you, but they might need someone to listen. Or because Erin asked me a little bit today about, I guess I can talk about this too, about coaching. But right now, being more bold with your coaching invites, because I know we do we're supposed to do, and we should do the forming and getting to know the person, not like, hey, saw you at the gym, sucks to be you, do you want to be a coach? Not that, but more like develop a relation, get to know that person, but be like, listen, especially what Carl did, the live video, that coach video, it was really good. So I invited a few people to that, and I know getting someone to watch a video can be like, oh, but it's still, listen, you're not doing anything right now. This is what we do. I would love for you to watch this, or invite them to the virtual weekend. Because I think that's going to be really, really, really cool. And listening to the National Wake Up Call today and listening to what they're going to do, how simultaneously they're going to have someone do sign language interpretation, they're going to translate in Spanish and French at the same time. I know that sounds silly, but that's something that you can use to talk. You're like, this is a big, deal. What they said, like a 10,000, probably more than 10,000 of us. There has got to be, I don't know, all across the country and UK and Canada. She said 10, I don't know, it's going to max out. If that's 10,000, it's going to max out. But that's something that you can talk to people too, is be more confident in talking about coaching right now, because even if they're like, they're still in this like little bubble of Beachbody, if you continue to talk to them about it and continue to share that we had how many, 8 million people worked out, or what was it today? Like, it's insane what we're doing. And did you see, Erin, the girl that talked about, the major, the master sergeant at, I don't know what Air Force Base she's stationed at, but how the military at one of the Air Force Base in our country, thank you for your service. They're talking to their soldiers about, we don't think gyms are going to open right away, so you should check out Beachbody on Demand. Okay, these are people that serve our country and need to do hard ass workouts and do their PT, pass their PT test, and they're telling them to do Beachbody on Demand. So like, we have this gift and we should not be shy at all right now about sharing it. Like, at all. Like, at all. So, sorry, I keep talking.
No, I want I want you to keep talking. No, you're doing great. Well, and I think too, like, I think our coaches are feeling, and I'm glad you said that, because I think I've heard two different sides of that story of being respectful of people and almost like not offering someone a coach opportunity right now to be sensitive. But I'm right now just feeling like, I feel like everybody should know about it. So many of the people that I'm talking to or that I'm inviting, most people, I mean, you guys, this is a true, like I have 2 pages in a notebook full of names from the past 2 weeks, and there's only a few names highlighted. I highlight a name when somebody's like, sure, send me more info. There's very few names highlighted of people that are like, sure, send me more info, because most people are unresponsive because of the uncertainty, but also because, and I am getting responses of, no, it's too expensive. And I was sharing this on a power hour last week, and then, but I respond to that. Like, if someone can't afford Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology, I respond. I'm not like, oh yeah, times are hard, so I'll just leave you alone, because I'm like, wow, this person needs this. Like like I really do believe that. Like, just in hearing Kristine, like Kristine went through, and still, we like us, we all have hard days and hard moments, but she went through something really, really hard. What if Jamie would have talked to her and said, you know, or saw her and been like, I don't know, she's like really negative right now or going through a hard time, so I'm just not going to talk to, like, I'm just going to leave her alone. Or, you know, if Kristine said no the first time, right, to her challenge pack or getting less meals pump and Shakeology, you know, Jamie being like, oh yeah, just kidding, I didn't really send that. But the thing of it is that this is changing people's lives from a bad place, from a really crappy place, and taking them to a really happy place. And I would venture to say that a lot of you can relate to that too, right, in your own way. That our solution, that being a part of a team, that going to a super weekend event, you know, that attending, you know, and being able to take your workouts and Shakeology with you, that's helping you feel better. And so now more than ever, people do need to be a part of this. And so, I mean, honestly, you guys, I would challenge you this week, and I'm challenging all of our business builders in the Business Builders Squad. I'm challenging my PS coaches. Share the coaching opportunity relentlessly this week. Like, how are you ever going to grow or know without asking, right? Without putting yourself out there like that. And so stop overthinking it, like Kristine said, right? I mean, just stop overthinking it. Oh,
Yeah,
she's your glasses on. What are you going to do?
Getting serious.
You thought that was fired up. You just went up and put my glasses on. No, dang it. I've got to find it. Someone shared a graphic with me, and I shared it on my team page and in my challenge group. I don't know if I can find it, but it was basically like, remember when like you didn't get invited to the party and how you felt?
Yes.
So they're like, go out and invite people. I got to find it, you know? So it was like, this is my thing. And this is what I was telling Erin, because she's like, something about coaching and call to action. This is embarrassing, but my call to actions suck. All right. And I try to tweak them. I don't follow any coaches. And Erin and I joked about this like last year. Do you remember that? It was like we were doing the hair and makeup, and they're like, how have you been? Because I have no idea. And I'm like, well, how are you? Because we're busy working. But so I try not to, because if I start to follow people, then I start to compare. And then that's, you know, that can happen, right? So I just can't. I can't. But my call to actions have never worked. And I do, she talks about this on the National Wake Up Call too. 99% of my work is done behind the scenes. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't look at another coach and be like, oh, she's got so lucky. She doesn't really invite because 700 people are in her inbox all day. Like, if they are, great. She's doing something I'm not doing. But I'm not shy about the invite, especially now, because people are too scared. They're too scared. A lot of people are too scared to come to you. Okay, they're waiting for that invitation from you. And like Erin said, the thing about not being able to afford it, you know, I'm sure you guys know personally people that have, you know, lost their jobs. So on my team alone, actually one of the girls her gym is in Indy. And so she's a coach, thank God. She said, if I didn't have my Beachbody income, I don't know what I'd do. She's a widow with 4 kids. She had to close her gym door. She had to close, she doesn't know, because, I did a post on this last week. So it said something about being icky. Like, you know, like I slammed network marketing, or the people that call it. You have to, if you want to go, you can go read my post or whatever. Because sometimes I'm just a smart aleck, but I said something about those that, what you think about network marketing, you need to quit talking to Karen or something. I was being a smart aleck. But anyways, they were talking about how people think it's icky. And I said, you know what's icky is when when the boss has that pit in their stomach that they have to walk to their employees and tell them they're laid off. Or the gym owner or the restaurant owner that has to go to that door and put in that key and lock it, not knowing when they're going to open it again. That is icky. We literally have something right now that solves every need people have right now. Think about that. Who else has that? Every stinking need, okay? People are eating Reese's eggs at home, way too many, okay? People are laying on the couch watching Netflix or spending 17 million hours a day on social media. They need to move their butt. They are lonely. They are so lonely, and they are thriving for community, and they need income. Like, think about that. Who else out there has that? We have our coach community. We have our challenge groups. We have Shakeology. We have meal plans. We have workouts. We can, and you can get paid to do this. I find no shame in that. Like, I want to help those, I want to help my coach earn income for her family that she's not getting because her gym doors are closed. Or my coach in my downline that lost her job after 17 years. 17 years she lost her job. People I talk to all the time. And so when Aaron said, like, I can't afford it, like, to me, I go back and be like, they need that, and then you would talk about the coaching opportunity. There's nothing wrong with bringing it up, And again, to me, each person, depending on their situation, and I talk to everyone differently, so I might bring it up in a different way than I would. There's like some people that, I told this girl, I said, I'm done because you're making me bang my head against a wall, because she's literally a coach, but she's not a coach. Like, I've invited her like 7,000 times, and I said, I can't do it anymore because you're driving me nuts. And she got furloughed. So she's literally like that personal development. She loves all the things that we love, and she's posting her workouts all day at home and blah, blah, blah. And I was finally like, you're making me nuts. And you don't have a job. I said it, you do not have a job, and you're doing what I do and not getting paid. So that was a little bit probably more forward than I would be with most people, but don't be shy about, okay, you're on this call for a reason. Like, that's how I look at it. You're on Aaron, you signed up for a reason. So whoever asked you, were they icky? I hope not, because that means you're upline. So that's kind of weird if you signed up with someone that you thought was icky. You like that person, they helped change your life. So why would you not want to do that with someone else? And that's how I feel about me. Like, I talk to so many women who are so scared and shame they take medicine. I'm like, I can't function without it. So don't talk to me about that. Or they're so ashamed of their story. And I'm like, do you know how many people need to hear it? And that's one of the reasons. I am one of those people. I am perfectly fine. Like, I don't like stories, and I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. I know they work very effectively with people, but I am just like, oh my gosh, I need to just go about my business. I'm like, oh wait, no, I need to do that because that makes sense. But I'm okay just doing me, but I know people need to hear me doing me. So people need to hear about the bad days. They need me to kind of make them. I like to make people think, because my husband made me think, and it used to make me really, really mad. So I want to tell them about the old me, and I want to tell them about the new me. So like, hey, if you're really negative, guess what? No one wants to be around you, because that's what someone told me about myself. But you're on this call for a reason, because like, you could be a coach and not on this call, but you on this call says something about what you want to do moving forward. So you think about that. It changed your life. Why would you not share that? That's like being selfish. That's how I look at it, and then let them make that decision. That's how I look at it too. Persistent, but not icky. Oh, I've been called persistent a lot. That's okay. I take it as a compliment. I thank you.
I think you're just bold and honest, which I think is what we all need to be. And you've found that confidence within yourself, which is awesome. I love it. Yeah, I think that you're like the crowd favorite tonight, Kristine, just for being yourself. I love it. No, don't you guys agree? Oh my gosh, totally.
No, I was scrolling really quick, and it was cool to read some of the aha moments you guys had. But I see a lot of overthinking. And then you need to go back and read the 5-second rule if you haven't read it. Or if you need to listen to it right now. You're all walking around your house yelling at your kids about something. So in between yelling at your kids to get their e-learning done, or thinking about the 2 loads of laundry that are on my couch that I haven't folded yet, you can listen to the 5-second rule. But you guys, there's still times though that I get nervous, or I get discouraged, or I do whatever. But overall, every day, like, I wasn't given a choice. Well, I kind of was. Like, I had to make a life-changing decision and do something you guys accept. It was so hard. It was so hard. But I look back now, and the relationship I have with my family, like Aaron's like, oh, it's so cute, you guys making faces at each other. We're like so happy and we have so much fun. But there was a lot of bad, not even just that moment, but ups and downs in our marriage that it took a lot of work to get where we are. And I attribute that to Beachbody. And I will say that forever. It has brought joy into every aspect of my life. Like when people talk about work-life balance, I'm just kind of talking all over the place. I think Mel Robbins might say it. There is no such thing. Like, and I respect people's family time. You know, we're really trying to focus on that being together. But Beachbody has meshed into our lives. So it's kind of like this, okay? So, you know, my son knows we do the home workouts. He knows mom works out, you know, works from home. And he just kind of knows, I mean, like, he knows like active and inactive. I don't think he understands it the way he thinks he does, but he's going to be 13. And he knows all these things about coaching just because we openly talk about it. Because my husband now, he wasn't supportive the first, he patted me on the head like a dog, you know, oh, that's cute what you do. And then I got him to watch a training video, and that was 2015. So for almost 3 years, I was kind of on my own. And now he's involved, and he's involved with the team, and he's involved like with the business stuff, which is great. But it's just kind of meshed with our family because there's so many aspects of Beachbody that have just helped us have a better life. You know, it's not just about, oh, I press play. I mean, I love everything about what we offer. And so, okay, I'll shut up. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, if you guys have questions, you can unmute or put them in the chat box. Does anybody have one?
I can't think of anything else.
Well, while they're thinking or chatting or whatever, you're right though, that I can agree to that and relate to that Beachbody has just become a part of our family. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't for a while. And for quite a while, you know, and I think that's interesting because it was just like, it was me. Like I was the Beachbody coach, but I also didn't share and invite David to be a part of it because I just made assumptions that he didn't want to be a part of it. And I do think that for all of our coaches watching the playback, that there is something really powerful when you do bravely share what you're doing and you share why. And you also share how they can help, right? Because most of our spouses want to see us succeed, but they just don't know how. And we've talked about this with our coaches a lot before, but you brought that up though, this work-life balance, it doesn't exist. You can't compartmentalize your Beachbody business into these perfect pockets of time. You can't do it because it just becomes a part of you. You're always thinking about the challenge groups. You're always brainstorming. You're always, you're working out or you're cooking a meal or you're meal planning and prepping or somebody's responding or has a question. It becomes a part of your dialogue in your family and what's happening in your home, especially right now, that instead of fighting against that, maybe just see that as being a reality and accept it and say, okay, this is where I want to go. I want to go somewhere. I want to do something with this. And I can't tuck it away in a corner. How do we bring it into our family, into our lives, in our conversations? But I like that, Kristine, because I think that's interesting too. And David had the same thing where he needed a role, right? He needed a role. And he started taking over what I sucked at, which was the business and the money part. And yeah, like, I don't know how we get paid. I don't understand that, you know? So I like that. We actually, our leaders today, were talking about that, how that it really helps our coaches. Our coaches sometimes hit walls when they don't feel like they're being supported.
But I think, and honestly, I don't remember which book this came from, but it talked about, you know, when one person is growing, and even if another person is growing, but they're growing at different lengths and they're growing at different speeds, it's the part in the middle that creates the friction. Mm-hmm. So if people in relationships grow together, right, and start to catch up, right, in whatever way that may be, then you have less friction, and then it just becomes that equal not equality, but that equal playing field, that like, this is a journey. That I think that's also the hardest thing. Like, you can't have a conversation with somebody about getting a challenge pack and say, oh, by the way, in 5 years down the road, this is going to completely change your life and your marriage and your everything. But we know that it does, because we see story after story after story, of couples, of family members, of you name it, friends, people you meet online who you don't know. I mean, that are growing at the same speed, who just have such a connection that you never would have known that this would have transformed your life, not just help you lose 5 pounds, right? But truly a system for change.
But that's why you, Kristine, showing up and being you and being snarky sometimes, or a smart aleck, or being so real and authentic, that's why you are where you are today, because you are you, right? I mean, but that's the truth. Like, you have found such courage in who you are, and sharing that and being your true authentic self and not being someone else. And I hope that the team sees that. Like, you don't need to be me.
No.
You don't need to be Erica. You don't need to be your upline. You need to be you and embody who you are. Just like I'm going to take a shower and put lipstick on by 2 p.m. It's me. Okay, you guys, it's just me. You don't need to do the same thing to be successful. It's just me. Okay. It's just a part of me. It's my grandma, right? It's my grandma and me. And so I just think that you guys need to find, I mean, you got us, Kristine, who I love dearly, right? Amazing friend in this business, so different from me, but she's still successful too, right? We can be our true selves and embrace our journey, embrace the hardships, embrace who we are, and tell that story bravely, knowing that it's going to change someone's life and not letting any obstacle set us back, right? I love it. What else do you want to say, or did anybody have any questions? Yeah, Lindsay had a question.
There's a question. And it's funny she talked about the hair and lipstick, because like 15, I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm like, no, I'm going to warn her. I'm like, I did not get ready at all. But part of why, and this is something fun, well, I forgot how to get ready because we've been home for so long, but I also, sometimes I don't get ready because it's not me. Like Erin said, she goes, my grandma gets ready. I'm like, I love that. I don't get ready because then I want people to see like, okay, she's normal. Not that Erin's not normal. You know what I mean? That sounded so bad. You know what I mean? Gosh, sorry. Just, but this is who I am. And because soon after this, I'm going to, I've already got my pajamas on. So then I'm just going to probably get ready for bed because I have an early alarm tomorrow, because remember, tomorrow I'm going to get back to it. Anyways, okay. So Lindsay asks, oh, thank you. I know I'm a little hyper. I should have worn a t-shirt because I have sweat rolling down my back. Okay, in 2015, when I was struggling, can you share what specifically kept you plugged into your team during those tough times while being a coach and still running a business? Okay, what kept you plugged in was my business. Like, I know it sounds so easy, but this had such a huge transformation on me at such a bad time. And I learned through that really, really, really bad time that went on for a long time and I know when you're in that really bad place, it's so hard to think that you can't dig yourself out of it. But what I learned is I was in that place too many times in my life. Like, and the longer you're in it, the harder it is to come out. So think about that too. Think about, you have one day that you're bad, or like you're just feeling sad. And you're like, I just can't get out of it. And so it's easy for me to sit here and say, yes, you can, but I can say, yes, you can, because I've been there. And so going through all of that stuff and what I had to endure, plugging in and leaning in, I keep telling that to my team right now too, lean in, lean in, lean in. I keep telling that to my challengers, like all caps, lean in, lean in, lean in. This is not a time to pull away. Is that when that started happening in 2015, it was almost matter of fact. Like, it was just like, okay, we got to do this again. Where, I mean, you guys, so I talked about sleep. In 2015, I remember my insomnia was so bad. There were nights, literally nights, I did not sleep like at all. Like sleep, it's kind of a joke that I suck at sleeping, but like I've got it kind of under control, things I do, but it was literally no nights of sleep. So you know what I did? I would do a workout at like 2 o'clock in the morning because I knew, and you might think like I had to keep going, and there were hard days. And I joked that I needed to get my own reserved parking spot at my psychiatrist's office because I was going so often, just because my meds weren't working. But I just kept at it because I knew if I didn't, I just put one foot in front of the other. And it was almost, and I'm not saying robot, it was almost automatic because I knew how sucky it felt when I wasn't fighting for myself. And I refused to go back there again. So like you said, I leaned into my team, and this is what I tell them too. When I'm feeling bad, I will pour into others. So like tomorrow, I know I'm gonna have a really good work day. Honestly, today was not really good. But I know when I pour into other people, I don't tell people, don't pretend like your problems aren't there. You don't brush them under the rug, but you don't forget about them. You're channeling that good energy into someone. And so focusing on them and talking to other people and pouring into them helps you feel better about yourself. And that's how I look at it. And so talking about, don't be like, you have to be you and you have to be authentic to yourself. And I know there's so, like, I think about, sometimes I think, oh God, Beachbody, we have such these cheesy sayings, or like, be yourself. If she can do it, I can do it. Like we're like, rah, rah, rah. And like, sometimes you're like, really? But it's so true. So like, you have to be who you are. And you cannot have any shame of that. You need to be able to look in the mirror and you can be able to say, I am so messed up, but that's okay. Because people need to hear your voice. Because so especially right now, guys, oh my gosh. I mean, I've been on the phone more, like in the last, we even talked to my mom, but this has nothing to do with my mom. I talked to my mom on the phone, like people want human connection. And so people need to be heard. And if they are struggling, they just need someone who understands that they can relate to and know that they're not alone. All right. So that's why you send the invite. Okay. We're still going to get the no's. We're still going to get, you know what kind of makes me mad? I mean, what annoys me, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to be happy about it. Whenever I start posting their home workouts, I'm like, oh, look at you. You made fun of me for 5 years for doing that. No, oh, really? But then I'm like, you know what? No, that's really cool. Good for you. Maybe you might be one that might eventually join my team. Or maybe it's not you, but maybe it's the next person who doesn't honestly know how to work out at home and is completely lost. So sat on the couch for the last 2 weeks and is feeling like crap. Like, we need to be out there reaching out to people. Like, invites should not be anything nervous right now at all. Like, I mean, it's easier for me to say that, but I'm just saying, you sending a message to someone is so good right now. People need that. And they also need to be distracted. Like, they need to quit, scrolling social media and actually have a genuine conversation. So, is there anything else?
I think that was
no.
I think that was it. Yeah. Lisa missed you.
I miss her.
Well, I think this was amazing. Thank you so much, Kristine, for sharing tonight, and totally appreciate it. I know that the team was very excited about it. Everybody loved this call so much, and your authenticity, and I appreciate your time, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh, I was flattered. I mean, seriously, when Erin Young sent you a message, now she's here to call, you're like, oh, okay. Thank you. No, thank you guys for having
Kristine,
me.
I don't have that same reaction.
I know. David isn't, he's like, whatever, it's Erin. Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah. Thank you so much, girl. I love you and I miss you, and I'm so sad I'm not going to see you at Summit. Oh my gosh.
I know. You guys be safe. And if anybody has any questions, they can message me too.
You're so awesome. Girl, thank you so much. You guys, thanks